This little DAC is the Chicken Little of streaming DACs. IFI Audio has simply taken everything they know and distilled it into one compact product that aims to give you everything you could ever want in a streaming DAC, including high-end fields and ambitious software at a very attractive price. To find out how good it is, I conducted an A/B sound comparison of 6 streaming DACs to find out if IFI Audio succeeded or not, including reviewing almost all the features the little beast has on the box. Join me for the ride and let's find out. As always, if you find the content great, then please take the time to tap that subscribe and like buttons. It totally helps the almighty YouTube algorithm get smarter and will give you better suggestions. Remember, the chapter index is your friend if you want to skip something or find something again in the reviews. And please do feel free to join the intelligent and mature conversation with other people
who actually watch the video before commenting.
IFI Audio is a young and pretty unique English company in the hi-fi space, known for their innovative, portable, high-quality audio products. They make headphone dongles and headphone DACs, phono stages, streamers, complete portable sound systems, as well as their portfolio of purifying reclogging devices. A common denominator for all the products in their range is the focus on sound quality in small packages. And for the new Stream, it seems like IFI Audio is taking the next step, integrating all their technologies in their pursuit of sound, combining it all to one product with their usual innovative approach. The Neo Stream is a super compact, fully featured streamer with a built-in DAC and preamp supporting the highest resolution DSD and PCM audio formats. The form factor makes it perfect for more hidden installations or for tabletop use where you don't want full-size gear taking up all your space. It even has a high-resolution Retina display that shows cover art and can be placed either standing up, like here, or vertical, depending on your space. The display will adjust itself accordingly. Uniquely, it comes with a RJ45 Ethernet to fiber converter that will allow you to have full galvanic separation of the network connection, so power potentials and ground noise are totally cut off. In theory, this can make a really big difference depending on your installation. In this quick overview of my annoyingly complex network that has several switches, the galvanic isolation is achieved with fiber interconnects between the main switches, as well as making sure that everything is powered in the galvanic isolated zone from the same power source. This, together with the AC noise filtering power conditioner with isolated power banks and solid ground, ensures very little noise being introduced through network and AC power to the AV systems. In general, hubs and switches and pad space and everywhere else many different signals meet can be annoying sources of noise entering your system. Using light instead of an electric connection is the simplest way to remove that potential source of noise, and this is the first time I have actually seen it built into a consumer device in this price class. The Neo Stream even comes with both a SC connector for the included adapter and the AJ45 traditional Ethernet port, so you can actually test both and see if it makes a positive difference or not in your system. In the back of the Neo, you will find everything you can expect from a high-end DAC with the full suite of analog and digital outputs, where IFI even has found room to incorporate balanced analog outputs on a 4.4mm stereo TRX mini jack. Amazing given the space. For digital connectivity, we get USB, coaxial toslink, balanced AES EBU, and even I2S on a HDMI connector. You can also connect computers and USB disk drives to ports in the back or the USB-C port in the front. I tested both using a little Samsung 1TB SSD drive, and the Neo Stream had no problems powering the drive that was available straight away. Besides the multiple Ethernet ports, we also get built-in Wi-Fi. I would advise against using Wi-Fi though if a LAN connection is at all available due to the limited bandwidth that will affect playback performance of high-resolution files.
Using a LAN connection from your router will not only give you a much better performance and stable connection, but it will also make the setup of networked hi-fi devices much simpler than messing with wireless network.
In theory, the Neo Stream can also be used as a preamp, but I would not recommend that with the current software that did not feel ready for prime time in this regard. In short, there's absolutely nothing missing as far as the connectivity possibilities on the Neo Stream are concerned.
It got you covered.
For a €1,300 streaming DAC, I am super impressed so far.
Series 4 deatomizer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Noisy cricket.
While great audio is not always a matter of size, there is definitely advantages to full-size components that naturally has much more space inside to separate and isolate sensitive circuits with multiple specialized power supplies, suppressing vibrations due to the heavier weight and so on. With a little compact cricket device like the Neo Stream, placement becomes very flexible for all kinds of uses, but all the circuits are compacted together, meaning that it's even harder for the engineers to design a high-end sounding device. This is where all the compact audio experience of IFI really kicks in.
Can't wait to hear how that works.
Let's be honest as usual here. It can be a pain in the ass to manage all the cables and power that is needed to hook up the Neo Stream with the included RJ45 to SC fiber converter. I wish it was a bit more elegant than using two different power supplies and different cable lengths and so on. With the basic connections in place, the unit can be turned on, and if using a LAN connection with DHCP like I do here, everything just works straight out of the box, where I was able to add the Neo Stream to Roon as a streaming endpoint, stream music from Tidal via Tidal Connect, stream Spotify with Spotify Connect, and AirPlay from an iOS device right away. Just great. Uniquely, the Neo Streams offers several modes of operation. Default is the AIO mode, where the web interface and all streaming modes are available at the same time. But if you use only one, say Roon or Tidal Connect for everything, you can select that mode to be 100% exclusive, which will include small optimizations for that service in favor for absolute sound quality and simplicity. You can also decide on what services you want active in the web interface. The first thing you should do is go to Settings, System Settings, and check for software updates. Getting the latest version took care of some bugs I found, but not all. The update was from October 22 and is called 2.15.17, and that's the version that is used in this review. You also select if you're using analog or digital out. In theory, all these little things combined matter, especially on a device this compact where so much has been done to keep noise at a minimum. The only disadvantage is that if you plan on connecting the Neo Stream to, say, two different systems, one using analog and another using the digital, that will not be possible at the same time. I could also enter the Neo Stream media server browsing web interface in the AIO mode, which should allow you to play music from media servers and play Webradio. This is simply done by typing the IP address shown in the display when not playing music into a web browser on your network. You can also download the Stream IFI app, which basically mirrors the web interface. Playback of local files from a USB drive work great, but with playback of files from DNLA servers in the house, I ran into all sorts of issues with the web interface software not being able to play back individual files or add track to the playback queue and so on. It just didn't work right. Instead, playback from media servers was possible using the Neo Stream as a universal plug-and-play endpoint. I tested this using a Synology and the built-in audio station software, and it all worked flawlessly. As for Webradio goes in AIO mode, I really miss the ability to choose the best streaming quality for stations that offers several streams. IFI seem to have pretty high ambitions though with the software built into the Neo Stream. It's a sophisticated and has a lot of unexpected useful features. In my opinion though, they might have been better off leaving features that do not work perfectly to begin with out and add them as they are perfected via frequent updates. That, by the way, are brilliantly easy to install using the system settings without any complex firmware updating procedures. It's really well done. In order for a DAC to accurately turn digital signals into analog ones, it is important to remove any high-frequency noise that may be present in the digital signal, which is done by applying a digital filter that can remove or reduce certain frequencies from a digital signal. But digital filtering also has its compromises. So IFI has chosen to offer the IFI Neo Stream with 4 distinct filters that you can choose between, so you can use the filter type you find sounding the best with your music. Some filters are better at removing high frequency noise, while others are better at preserving the overall shape of the signal. It's a pretty sophisticated feature to offer in a DAC in this price class. Very cool. And then there's the sound. With all the hardware technology the Neo Stream integrates with a focus on the sound, it really deserves a very thorough sound review. At 1,300 euros, it could be the sound value deal of the century. And that was one of the reasons why I found it to be such an interesting device for review. To get some more perspective on the actual sound value of the Neo Stream, I invited an extra set of trained ears attached to my sound engineering buddy Tim Harris to perform a blind listening test, exclusively listening to the analog outputs. We actually want to know, do you get more sound for your money with this? Maybe you could just try to sample them all and then we'll try to compare.
I found the Balance 1 slightly more, say, rounded, but didn't have quite as much harshness in the top.
This one sounds flat here where I'm standing, and the other one much more open and a fatter low end.
Okay. I've got to stand where you are then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been sitting in the wrong spot.
You need to go further back, you think?
Yeah, there's stuff that I hear here that I don't hear there.
Wow, what a discovery.
Let's try again. The complexity gets a lot larger when there's 5 to choose from, but Balance 1 and 2, very controlled sound, not very exciting on the bass end. Line 1 and 2 and CD, fuller in the bass, more involvement. Again, kind of forward in the sound on line 1, but both line 1 and line 2 and CD were more engaging in the bass area. It was kind of a bit flat on Balance 1 and 2. So I enjoyed the extension of the bass more in line 1 and 2 and CD as well. 1 was a little bit forward again, could become a little bit harsh on certain sorts of materials, but more involving that way. So at the moment, I think Balance 1 and 2 were a little bit flatter in the sound. Interesting. That's a less disciplined mix.
Yeah.
So it shows up some other bits and pieces. There's an awful lot going on in the midtones. But again, it didn't show up as being too hyped on line 1 and line 2 and CD. I still prefer listening to those as opposed to Balance 1 and 2. Mostly I'm trying to separate them into categories. At the moment, the neutral ones are on balanced inputs, the 1 and 2, and the more lively, entertaining ones are the other 3.
Okay, the one that pushes a little bit in
Yeah,
every
that's right.
direction.
And I was afraid that might become a little bit tiring over time, that it's so forward and quite dynamic.
Yeah.
It was, so I'm a little undecided whether I'd, over time, appreciate the more neutral of Balance 1 and 2 or against the instantly gratifying, more hyped line 1 and 2 and CD.
And I definitely follow you on line 2. It's more lively in many regards. It's like there's more details there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems there's a little bit more separation and more smooth midtones. I still feel every time you hit that balanced one, things kind of drops a little more together in the sound.
Yeah.
Like the distance between stuff becomes a little smaller.
A little. Could also describe it as being a little more flat.
Yeah.
Things are more homogeneous, but it's not as exciting, as dynamic a feel.
Yeah, exactly.
As the other ones, but
it doesn't feel as fast.
No. Wow, beautiful piece of music.
Yeah, it's
Dynamics.
fantastic. I was just swimming away.
I got goosebumps again. The dynamics between her and then the orchestra, when she opens up for just like a bar, they're there with her.
Yeah, amazing.
Beautiful piece.
Yeah.
I still feel more involved in the line 1, 2 and CD. That may become tiring, fatiguing over time, but I enjoy listening to them for the minute. And we tried a couple of things now, so they don't seem to get fatiguing.
You get this kind of same impression.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me try something on the other end of the scale. It's just up and pushing hard. Yeah, I still prefer. I think I'm heading towards CD as the most enjoyable one. A good mixture of
both
dynamism and composure. I think balance 1 and 2 is maybe just a little bit too neutral. Yeah, that's in your face. Definitely a larger feeling of bass on the line and CDs. Little more on balance 2, but starting to get a little too harsh on line 1, I thought. But balance 2, it's more bass, the least bass in balance 1, least coherent bass. Balance 2, a little better, but I didn't pick up on much else on the spatial stuff.
So how about we go in philosophy mode then?
Modern DACs, interesting comparison, A to B to C to D to E. Who does that? Nobody ever does that.
No.
So finding the differences and similarities is really becomes apparent, a lot more apparent here, because most people might buy or get 2 on a test and compare A to B.
Yeah.
But having all 5 here makes it more complex, of course, but very interesting to see, are there any differences? Have we now got to the point where DACs are so good, you either get very good or very, very good? So you can easily buy anyone.
Yeah,
or what?
Maybe I feel like getting the last 5% that will last you a lifetime. That's what you're paying for with the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
We also had that acoustic thing when moving a little back.
Yeah.
I got more information from the speakers, which was pretty weird.
Yeah, that's right. Depending on the room affects the sound of modes that are in play.
I think listening styles, and that's why people need to sample equipment themselves and for a prolonged period of time. You just can't go to a store and go, no, that sounds great.
Yeah.
You maybe with speakers you can get an idea of what it is about, but when you get them home, they might reveal other sides of themselves, right?
Depending which room you've got it in.
But with electronics like sources, that's I think that's really difficult.
It is. Plus, also, it's the combination of things. You're testing them standalone, but you may have a very forward-sounding amp, which combined with a very forward, dynamic-sounding converter might be too much.
Yeah.
So you pair it with a more neutral, flatter-sounding one, and that's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, they've got different personalities, and you can pair them with the different personalities of amps and then speakers to just get that nice balance. And that's where the interest comes in, rather than just buying a finished set that is what it is.
Yeah.
You can pick and mix and combine the best of each element. Maybe I'd be inclined to think that the DACs are maybe the thing that gives you the smallest change in difference in quality and perception and experience compared to changing your amp, changing the speakers.
Yeah.
But it's still a part of the equation that's worth spending time on because you've got so much to choose from.
Yeah.
You don't have to make do with the inbuilt one if you don't like it. You can combine it and update it.
But for the DACs, you see their shapes and sizes and functionality, and especially their software means a lot for the daily user experience.
Yes, exactly.
Some of these guys have had a long journey in their software to become a really friendly, lovable product.
And some are not quite finished their journey yet.
So some are not finished yet. You know, there's always something.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say there are subtle differences, and those subtle differences will become bigger as the more you listen. Of course, it doesn't weigh as much as speakers and amps.
No, that's right. But if you can add a few % to your listening pleasure and improvement in it, then it's worth doing.
Yeah. What can we take away? Any surprises?
I thought it would be more apparent, the difference between them. So I've changed my scale of expectations to have to be more and more precise than I thought it would be in my judgment of it.
Yeah.
I like them all. They all gave me goosebumps at some time with certain types of music, which is the main purpose of any equipment.
Of course.
To communicate the feelings.
Yeah.
But then from that point, then you can gain several % depending on your preferences.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the ones that I felt more involved with rather than ones that were more flat and just neutral and competent.
But thank you so much for
My pleasure.
for bringing your well-trained ears.
I'll try.
It was amazing to get your perspective on these DACs.
Yeah.
And I hope you will come and listen again.
Definitely, love to come.
At €1,300, the IFI Neo Stream offers a very competent sound in a very practical sized and flexible body that is able to cover and adapt to all your streaming audio needs. It's a great little streaming DAC for the casual audiophile listener who wants serious fidelity in a small package, able to deliver the highest resolution audio from any streamable source, as well as local ripped files from an attached USB drive or media servers. The software too has ambitions, but a couple of things still needs a little work that fortunately is delivered via super easy to install software updates. Sound-wise, it must be simply one of the best streaming DACs in that price range, snapping the heels of more expensive DACs. As a package viewed as a whole, it seems unbeatable for that casual audiophile with its unique combination of technology, flexibility and sound worthy of an even higher price tag. As always, trust your own ears and how sound makes you feel. That's why I always encourage you to just listen. Hang on for the review score and feel free to tap those like and subscribe buttons at any time. It helps the YouTube algorithm share quality content
And also feeds my ego.
Thank you for watching and see you soon here back on the channel.
This.
So what is your experiences? Join us in the comment section below and share.